Oh, hello. Here we are with another great episode of Clifton Market Live on YouTube. There lots of things are going on. We're excited to have a meeting tomorrow at the Carson Masonic Lodge. Well, here's Mr. Singh. You can come right on over. See you, Keith. Hello, Mr. Singh. How are you today?
How are you today?
Oh, couldn't be better, really.
It's snowing outside.
I know it's really
Feels like winter finally.
it's a miserable day, really.
Yeah, I like snow.
But I guess what's going on?
Well, the biggest thing now is the vote tomorrow, so we just want to make sure that everybody is informed and make an educated decision tomorrow, so we can have this market here for a long time to come. So I think there are three options out there. One is to file bankruptcy, which I don't think serves any purpose to anyone. And the second option is us taking over and running the place, running like a business like it's supposed to be. And the third option, I think a couple of the shareholders got back together and keep the same concept, co-op, raise some money, and which I think is going to end up in the same situation where we are now. That model hasn't worked. You know, they've been struggling from day one. So I think people really need to think about this. If they want the market here, is the option. Our option is the one they're going to keep the market here for a long time. So I'm open to any questions. Anybody has any concern, feel free to reach me here at the market, or I can give my cell phone number, my email. Yeah. So my cell phone number is 513-473-7913, or email me gsingh, gsingh612 at aol.com.
Great, that's a good email address. Well, the one question I had is the 45-day term that you're working on. That ends December 31st, I believe.
Yeah, let's hope that it doesn't get to that point. So when we took over, they were ready to shut the store down because there was no inventory to sell, and they still have a lot of bills to pay, and the account was under. So I love this market. I want to keep it as a market. And I supported it from day one since it opened. We were shareholder. We did fundraising. We did everything. So for me, if the market shuts down, it would have been so hard to open it back up as a market, given the financial situation and all the legal battles and all that. So for me to come in and put stock on the shelves and, just the basic, not fully, so doors can stay open until the board decide or the shareholder decide the fate of the market. And so that's what we did. We got in hoping that shareholders will do the right thing and pick the right choice, and we'll be here for a long term, not just for 45 days. But if tomorrow they decide otherwise, then you're right, and then the 45 days are over since from the day we took over to the 45 days.
Well, my question about the 45 days is that let's just think out of the box here. Let's say the community rallies and supports the store and brings sales up to, let's say, 160,000 a week within that 45-day period, and sustains it week after week. We got about 5 more weeks to go, I'm guessing. But if the community did, there's a chance that we could preserve the market as it is, but it's only with the community support.
Yeah, you're right. I think we are not like private investors to investing in this for the profit, or there's so many other options that are out there that I could choose to invest my money. This is for the love of the market, to save it. But I think it's better served in a way where the person who has a knowledge about the business, if one person is running it, you don't have to go through so many channels to make a decision. We want what's best for the community. We are not going to take this store to a level where a lot of people fear that it might decline or something. We'll keep an upscale store. It's set up nicely, beautifully. We only going to add to it and keep the store the community is proud of. And it's for the love of this store. I mean, there are so many other business opportunities out there that we can seek and to invest and to make money, but this is not one of them. It's not for so much for the money, but to keep the market open. That so many people put so much hard time and labor and money to make it happen, and it'd be so sad to see it go to all the effort go to waste.
Well, this is certainly an opportunity for the community to take charge and bring sales up to 160,000 for every week in December, and it would certainly prove that we, as a community, mean business.
I guess after tomorrow, we'll see which way the voting goes, and the sales will come up if the store is properly stocked. Right now, the basic stuff is here, but it's not fully stocked, so it's hard to bring those numbers back up. But once they decide tomorrow that we're here permanently and we want to run this store, then you will see more and more stock come in next week, and the deli be up to 100%. And a lot of the the things that are missing from shelves will be back, so that will help the numbers come up tremendously.
No, you're exactly right. The customers, when they come in the store, when they see an empty shelf, they do not think that it's a struggling co-op. They don't think that. Yeah. So with the shelf stocked, with your great generosity, then we have a chance to catch a hold on a rather steep cliff.
Yeah, I think you're right. Like empty shelves always make people nervous, make them scared that place is going out of business. Plus, it's inconvenient when you don't find everything that you come in to look for. You have to buy a few things here and a few things, go to another store to buy a few things, and people, the busy work schedule and family, and you just don't have time for that. So we want to, have everything that they need here at one location, so they don't have to go somewhere else to buy other things. So I think we'll get to that point very soon, after hopefully the shareholders and everybody they take their time, do your research. Call me if you have any questions and make the right call tomorrow.
Yeah, give your number again.
Yeah, 513-473-7913, and I'm open. Or call me here at the market, and I will answer any questions that you have, concerns, any fear that's you're facing. So just talk to me. I'm here most of the day, here today and tomorrow.
So you might be able to consider, let's say the community comes up with 160,000 every week in December and shows you that the community wants to support the store. You might be willing, and the board might be willing, to restructure the management of the store and put it in the manager's hands.
Yeah, I mean that's the ultimate goal, is to let us run the place and take it the direction that people want it to take it to. Instead of, I think, taking so many different directions and not knowing what's working for the market. So we want to stick with the model that works and provide people with the things they need and the convenience and everything else. And I think that's where we want to get to. Yeah.
So you'd be comfortable if the market stayed a co-op and the investors were able to maybe see some recovery down the road if the community came and shopped the store 160,000 every week in December.
I think the plan that we have in place, we want to get back to the people that invested and loaned to the market. And in order for us to do that, the market has to take itself out of the hole. You have to pay certain bills to keep the doors open. Those need to be paid. And we'll put something in place that pays back to the people. Create some kind of fund that's managed by either the board or whoever they want to assign, and that gives back to the people, whichever way they feel like they can contribute that money back to the people who invested money into the market. Yeah.
Well, going back in the history, the market never really broadcast the fact that they were running in the red since they opened I just recently learned that in February of this year, it was running in the green because there was a snowstorm or something. But without the bottom line is the market sales per week. It has to match expenses.
Yeah, I mean that's the simple math of business,
Yeah.
right? The what's coming in has to be more than what's going out. So the sales have to be there. At the same time, we'll cut back on whatever unnecessary expense that we can, without compromising the service, without compromising the way the store looks, and to make it a profitable. Yeah, and that's a feel-good story for everyone. You know, the employees that work for you feels good. People who have invested the money into the market, they're getting something back. It's a feel-good for everyone, and you have to reach that at however you can, because otherwise it starts to drag, and everything is like becomes negative, and that's not good.
No,
Yeah.
it's a hidden. It's a hidden. When people come into the store and they see it's stocked, but it was stocked with borrowed money, that they're happy, but the store is not happy.
You're so right, because if you keep putting stuff on the shelves and you're not paying those vendors back, but you're selling the stuff, that means the money is going somewhere. Either it's not well managed, or it's going into some type of expense that needs to be managed or looked closely, because everybody who supplies to the market groceries or produce or their business also, and they need to get paid for them to run their business. So it's very important that vendors get paid, employees get paid, and then you're able to turn profit. So everybody is happy, and it's a good business model.
Well, I'm glad you gave your email and your phone number out, because communication is a big problem. I've had numerous problems just getting people to sit down and talk. People in positions of power, and I'm so thankful that you're open, willing to just stick your neck out and call it a spade a spade.
Yeah, you won't have any problem reaching out to me. I'm always here. So anytime you need me, I'm here. Any questions they need answered, they can call me, and it'll be the same way. Once we take over the store, my contact information will be there, and all the suggestions people have for the place, they just won't go wasted. I'll read them all. We'll try to employ everything that we can. And I mean, people have so many great ideas so far that I have heard. It's awesome, like how people want to help, and they want to volunteer, and different ideas that will bring more people in. Why not? If you can use those to bring more people into the doors and give them with the things they're looking for and products they're looking for, that's what successful business is.
Yes, I've recently reached out to the SCORE program. It's retired executives giving advice to businesses. So they're linking me up with someone, and I'll feed the ideas to you as they come about. But answering the email box and the suggestion box and paying attention to the customers is really number one.
Yeah, and that's why we're here. We're here because of the customers, because of the community, and those are the people who are keeping the doors open. Those are the people who are shopping here. So we need to listen to them. We need to listen what they're asking, what they're needing, what their needs are, whether that's the price point, or that we need to get a new product here, or whatever it is. It's the only way we will be successful. And you're gonna find me very reachable. I'm here. I'm always in the store. I'm a hands-on person. I'm not sitting in the office. I mean, I get my paperwork done early in the morning. Rest of my days in the store, talking to people, connecting with guests and with employees, and ringing up people, bagging groceries, and that's what I do. So you will see me here. So feel free to reach out to me with any concerns, anything that you want me to do that's going to make the place better. We're open to that.
Well, tell us about the history of the grocery store you ran. Where was it?
Yeah, it was here in Cincinnati. I've been involved in a lot of businesses. Business has been my life. We have restaurants, we had a grocery store, wholesale business, car wash. So, it was here in Cincinnati. We ran a grocery store. We have a restaurant here in Clifton now by UC Elephant Walk.
Tell us about the grocery store.
Yeah, it was in Finneytown.
Finneytown.
Yes, yeah, and it was I ran it for 10 years. My kids were little, and
Were you living in Finneytown?
No, we were living in Cincinnati in Gulf Manor. Yeah, but we were here when I originally came to Cincinnati. I came in Clifton. You know, my parents were here. All my kids were born here in Clifton at Good Sam. They went to Clifton Elementary. My oldest kid went to Concordia Lutheran School over there. So we've been part of the community, you know, from like since 1990s. You know, we've been here. Yeah.
So how many square foot was the Finneytown grocery store?
It wasn't as big as this one, but it was about like 4,000 square feet. Yeah. But it did really good numbers. Volume was really high.
And were you associated with an independent company or?
Maristop, they were There was a franchisee. We were a franchisee, and they were a franchisor, and then they went out of business, and then we were independent. Yeah.
Very interesting. Well, it shows that you have plenty of experience to run a grocery store.
Yeah, the experience is there, the will is there, the hard work is there. I've been, you know, and I have what it takes to turn this place around and make it profitable. And it's going to require a lot of long hours and long days, but you know, I know what it takes, and I'm all up for that. Yes.
Yeah, I believe you're 45.
Yeah.
So we can really just burn those next 5 years and have you wear yourself out. You'll be gray-haired by like an old president of the United States. After 8 years, you're completely wasted.
Yeah, I mean, I'm already getting gray hair from last week or so, so that's okay. You know, it's just, I'm not worried about that, so it's all good. Yeah.
Well, I've got all the literature here today that was been distributed. The report from Keith Wicks. Do you know Keith Wicks? He's a grocery expert. He made a nice proposal, and it's the only. We got 3 proposals on the line. One is bankruptcy, one is working with you, and the other one is to sort of jumpstart the old group.
Concept, yeah. So, you know, take your time and read up all those options and see what's best for the market. And I think the bankruptcy doesn't help anyone. You know, you're back. Nobody gains anything out of it. Then the bank gets to decide who gets what, and who knows what's going to come here. And the other co-op things, like what they're trying to do, is they already tried this concept here and it didn't work. And I don't think it adds on any new thing. So with our option, at least, you know, I'll be hands-on and I'll be here, and I think it's going to require a lot of hard work from my part, and I'm willing to do that, to just for the love of the store, the market, to keep it open and make it as self-sustainable. Whereas once, you know, you establish and change the culture, and then it will be here for a long time. Yeah.
Well, that brings up another point I wanted you to verify. Yeah, obviously, you're going to be bringing in new products, maybe an Asian section, an Indian section of food, but you don't have any interest in selling cigarettes.
No cigarettes.
And no lottery.
No lottery.
No lottery. And what other things might be? People say, you know, I don't really want that in my community store.
You know, we're going to keep the store just as is, just by adding, like, expanding the departments that are doing well. Produce does really well. Seafood does really well. So we'll look into that, like how we can maximize those. And the cigarettes, there's not, even from business point of view, there's not that much profit in those, and they require a lot of your money to stock those, and they're very costly and highly theft item that employees steal. It's not a profitable item even to have in the stores. And the lottery is the same way. Lottery is, you know, it's a commission, so you don't make, even from business point of view, it doesn't make sense to have those things, because you have to hire employees to run the machines and do things, but it doesn't really pay off at the end. So those are not part of our plan. We are not thinking about adding any of those. We're going to keep the market, but just improve it in the department that it needs to be improved, that it does well. We'll add international groceries, because Clifton is a very diverse neighborhood. There are all kind of people are living here, so they're welcome to, also everybody else who wants to buy something from different part of the world, why not? Yeah, so it's a melting pot, and we're gonna, try to get all the groceries in, but no cigarettes, no lottery. That's not the plan.
Well, I'm really looking forward to having like a first class Middle East, Indian, Indonesian, Asia, because we have these people living in here, and it would be such a eye opener to see really nice products from those countries where the natives can come in and say, boy, I wish I could have gotten this. I mean, it's probably a canned good or something, or a dry good package, but nonetheless, it means an awful lot to an out-of-towner.
Yeah, sure. If the best example is, I think a lot of people give example, there's a market in Wyoming, and they do that, and I have, people have suggested that I go there and look at it, and I'm going to do that, and I'm going to make a time to get over there. But Jungle Gyms over in Fairfield, they started off with a very small produce stand and expanded to, obviously here, we won't be as big as Jungle Gym, but we want people to feel proud of this place, that you bring your out, when somebody's visiting you, you bring them here to see this unique place that has a flavor of the world, and you can buy the different wines and different things from different part of the world that you can only get it here, not from another store, and the personal touch and the personal feel that you get from the workers and from me, and then all that is only possible here. You cannot get that from any store. So that's the way we're leaning more toward, so not adding cigarettes or lottery. That's not the part of the plan.
Well, I'm glad you're bringing in the international, because I never go to Jungle Gyms, but I'd like to, but I just like to shop locally.
Yeah, sure. I mean, it's too far out of the way, and if you can get it here, why not? Then you don't have the need to go there. Yeah, so that's the goal, is to, because there's so much space in the back that we can use for that, and we will explore every option, and try a little bit at a time, and if it's selling, it's moving, then we'll expand it.
No, I'm excited. What is selling and what is moving?
Yeah, that's what it's all about, right? Just bring the product in and move it and pay the people. Yeah.
Well, I don't think trends have changed since you had the grocery store, so you kind of know what's selling.
Yeah, it's I need to study the numbers in more detail. The store's been open for 2 years, I believe, more than 2 years.
January 22nd will be 2 years.
So I will get a chance to look at the numbers in detail. What moved here and what's selling, and expand and move in that direction. And like people that are coming here and shopping here, we know their habits, what they're buying and what they're not buying. But there are also so many people out there that probably don't make it in because either they don't know what this market is about, or they're not finding what they need. So it's also important to engage with the community and see how we can bring those people in, what is taking them to other stores, whether that's the price point or some items that they're not finding here. So to get that kind of feedback from people and then provide those items and get everybody in here and the whole community, and I think that will make it more successful, or make that will drive the numbers up, the numbers that we're looking for.
How many children do you have?
I have 3 children.
3 children. Well, I was hoping that one of them might take up monitoring our social media in Clifton, because it would be best for a young person to sort of scan what's being said about the market, and then you could direct them into a gentle response.
Yeah, and I think that's needed. Either one of my kids or either someone else, that we can hire a student part-time to look at that, because that's what the future is now, right? Everybody's on social media, everybody's buying stuff online, getting delivered, and everybody's banking online. Like some of the younger generation never been in a bank, they don't know, they don't go to grocery stores, they get everything delivered to their door. So we don't want to alienate anybody. There are all type of people living in this community. Some people they're just young couple and they have little kids and they don't have time to go out, or it makes it hard for them to go to a store due to their work schedule and dealing with the young family. So we want to be able to deliver groceries to their door. they can support us, be proud of supporting a local store rather than getting it from Amazon or whatever they're getting their groceries now. So we want to be able to do that. So we want to make our presence online and cater to every walk of life, not just one particular group.
No, well, that's communication is really quite valuable, and I'm glad that you've stepped forward and made yourself available. And it's a godsend to have that kind of communication, because I've been doing this broadcast since June 15th, and I could count on one hand the number of players that I've interviewed.
Yeah, you won't have any problem tracking me down.
I think you have a little bed and breakfast set up downstairs, don't you?
Yeah, I mean, I'm getting to that point.
Well, I'll let you go now, Mr. Singh. So.
Okay, thank you, Tom. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Thank you. Well, that was fantastic. I know Mr. Singh really reached out. So the rest of the show is basically we're going to go through the various proposals that have been launched, try to give you an update on what they are. I'm reading from the letter that Mr. Singh wrote to Clifton Market shareholders. In the third paragraph, he says, the terms of the recently signed management contract provide me with no salary, and given the market's dire financial situation, has actually resulted in me investing $75,000 of my own money just to stock the shelves and keep the business open. So that's a addition to what Mr. Singh spoke already. I'm going to read about the meeting tomorrow. Save the Clifton Market. There's a Save the Clifton Market meeting today at 6:30. At the United Methodist Church. It's from Adam Hyland in Clifton. Hi all. There is a plan with significant funds behind it to save the co-op, the store, and your investments. The meeting on Monday night will be to discuss and ask detailed questions about the only option that saves your investment. But I don't know if that's true. I think Mr. Singh just said that it is a possibility. If the community will generate sales of $160,000 in each week in December, that they might restructure the management of the store, give the manager all the decision making. So the location of this meeting tonight is at the United Methodist Church at 3416 Clifton Avenue, Cincinnati, Ohio. It's from 6:30 to 8 o'clock. And I was trying to get the email from my partner Irene Moore about the exact details of the meeting. So I'll scroll down there to get that. So it's hard to believe that every time somebody of importance doesn't include the exact details in their messages. Anyway, this is from Irene Moore, my wonderful partner. It says, Clifton Market meeting and voting update. Clifton Market public meeting is Tuesday, tomorrow, November 27th at 6:30 p.m. at the Carson Masonic Lodge, 218 Ludlow Avenue. It's up the street on the left-hand side. You go up past Skyline, Paulo's, the gourmet cookie store, yoga, World Peace Yoga, and then it's about 2/3 of the way up the road on the left to the library, and you enter in the rear. The purpose of the meeting is discussion and voting on the future of the market. Please bring a photo ID to vote. Voting will also be at the market from 4 to 7 p.m. on Wednesday, November 28th. Kindly stay tuned for further details as they are finalized. So that's the meeting tomorrow. This was sent out by the board of Clifton Market. The third ballot option, which had previously been informally discussed by a group of shareholders, has now been formalized by the same individuals. The details of all the proposals follow below. As discussed in a number of emails, the market is on the verge of bankruptcy. I'll skip down past the debts and our assets. And on Thursday, November 15th, the board signed a 45-day management agreement with Gurmukh Singh. Mr. Singh took over management of the market's day-to-day operations and made credit arrangements with vendors to ensure that the store will be stocked during this 45-day period. The new board has been working diligently over the past 5 months to explore any and all viable options that would allow the market to continue to exist and ultimately thrive as a co-op despite our dire financial situation. At this point, we have found none. As a result, we have also explored options that will allow the market to exist as a privately owned entity, and they have had discussions with Mr. Singh regarding an asset purchase agreement to purchase the market's business assets, including the building and equipment. While this offer would ultimately result in the co-op being terminated, it would, if successful, allow the market to continue to exist as a privately owned neighborhood grocery store, which would continue operations at this location and serve our community. The attorneys for both Mr. Singh and Clifton Market have been working on 3 mortgage lenders to negotiate an agreement. In the last 2 weeks, a group of shareholders led by Peter Block and Marilyn Hyland have proposed a third option. The proponents of this plan hope to raise operating funds of $200,000, hire John Verling as general manager, and implement a new business plan. We hope to have this plan vetted by our attorney and mortgage holders before the meeting on the 27th. There's various links to the Block Hyland proposal, John Verling's timeline, the business plan, the action plan, Keith Wicks' plan review. So given the above, the co-op is left with 3 options: file bankruptcy and allow the courts to disperse our assets, sell the market's business assets to the Singhs, follow a plan proposed by a group of shareholders led by Peter Block and Marilyn Hyland. As previously announced, a meeting and vote of the shareholders will be held on Tuesday, November 27th at 6:30 p.m. The meeting will be held at the Masonic Lodge at 218 Ludlow Avenue in Clifton. There is a parking lot in the rear of the building. Please enter from the rear on the right side of the building as you face it from the parking lot. If you plan on voting at the meeting, you will be required to show a valid photo ID, such as a driver's license, passport, state-issued photo ID, or other ID that would be recognized as a governmental election. We hope to have the ballots finalized by Monday, the 26th, at which point we will send out information on absentee voting. So that's the major statement from the shareholders, the Clifton Market Board. Keith Wicks originally created our business plan, and I've been looking forward to reading sections of it, but he's also made an updated report And this is the Keith Wicks review of the current proposals 11, 12, 18. I believe your approach to saving Clifton Market can, quite logically, lift the store's sales space, citing it has been mismanaged from the start and an upgrade plan for operations was never engaged. Your approach for employing new management, supportive store staffing, and inventory can reclaim the 120K weekly sales level that Clifton Market plateaued at prior to the last waves of labor and inventory reductions. Keep in mind that sales levels was generated by a corporate IGA-like operation with no competitive grocery marketing and little to no cooperative business culture. This first level of business lift would come by refreshing the basic offering, substantially improve the store's management, and with the advantage of business exposure to holiday traffic. The forward strategy will take funding to restock and support the labor to adequately operate the store. The effects of continued marketing and bring the cooperative business culture to this business model as originally planned but never executed, then raises the goal of 140 to 150 break even, developed into spring with the forward strategy. I don't know what the funding number is. I have not seen an operating statement, but I sense about 100K added inventory and cash reserve to support labor in both new sales levels and timelines. The timeline goals are 30 to 60 days for 120K goal, and then proving to the market and the community that the cooperative business culture has been assumed as the integrity of the store's daily quality grocery services, and thereby building to a 6-month midterm goal by the spring of 2019. Cooperative business culture is a difference-making factor for re-engaging the 1,800 share owners, of which it's could in itself contribute to achieving the first level of sales lift. Store effects, as well as support of a cohesive board of directors overseeing and managing the share owner's investment. So this is a complicated statement. So he says that the original sales was generated by a corporate IGA-like operation with no competitive grocery marketing and little to no cooperative business culture. I think he speaks to the dysfunction of the board in that case, and citing it has been mismanaged from the start, and an upgrade for operations was never engaged. Well, I've gone through the report that Keith initially looking for the upgrade plan for operations, and I never was able to see it. I think when you read the marketing plan, it never really mentions the sales of media buys. So we're gonna go through these other proposals and see if we can cull some of that information out of it. I'm reading an email transmission, one of 9 pages, and it's list confidential. But I believe these documents are were distributed to be public. If I didn't know any better, I'd say it was listed on NextDoor, so kind of lets the cat out of the bag. But here it says the situation. Clifton Market sales began downtrending upon the grand opening startup issues, not of the least of which was a cash reserve. The downslide caused Laurel Grocery Company to assist with stabilizing the situation, with including inventory and labor adjustment to meet today's average weekly sales of 125,000. The initial opening was about 30% below first year in forecast, then downsliding and stabilizing at minus 51% below original forecast. The three principal penalizing matters: incomplete fresh market business model and operation, insufficient cash reserve to support operations and marketing, insufficient marketing awareness and marketing. The current retail format, traditional, conventional, with which current operation holds the stabilized sales level, but with physical infrastructure to support fresh market strategy. And here's marketing awareness. The majority of the market's households don't see a weekly Clifton Market ad in print ads, such as with the Metro Standard supermarket strategy. With the Metro Standard. So a print ad is needed. Concentrate marketing investment on driving top of mind awareness from two general areas with best short-term chance at business growth. Share owners, citing current and weak patronage and below average spending at Clifton Market. Well, as we learned earlier, Lexington has a co-op too, and they have 8,000 shareholders, and they suffer from the same lack of shopping from their shareholders. So it could be a regional or national trend. Neighborhoods in the advantageous convenience reach of Clifton Market. Whatever the marketing budget, concentrate on increasing awareness and business from those neighborhoods. The budget might also allow a solid effort in zip code 45220, initial ongoing waves of marketing through the action plan timeline. The bigger picture, target market includes Avondale, Northside, Clifton Heights, and downtown. But again, there's so much that can be exercised and expense for phase one. So leverage marketing investment wisely. The sales goal and continued business momentum and growth is only possible with effective marketing campaigns to draw new customers and increase average transactions. The timeline is short to launching marketing. The creative needs for an ad template and signage program are critical support. I'm reading from the Keith Wicks Associates Retail Development Planning. Says Marilyn Hyland has outlined the marketing strategy, tactical options, and ballpark costs for the board to make decisions per means possible to support the plan, including marketing budget. Clifton Market's makeover begins with understanding there are two general impressions for the market to market Clifton Market's full business character and special attractions. Community-owned cooperative business. B, fresh market format and operation. I think we know all about community-owned cooperative businesses, but the fresh market format and operation, the need is to transition the current format with fresh market attractions in each retail department and culinary service. The new attractions are designed to draw interest and then satisfaction upon purchase, satisfaction with the product and with Clifton Market shopping experience and cooperative culture. Marketing captures interest. Fresh market strategy optimizes the store's competitiveness. Cooperative culture adds the most unique difference-making business trait to all supportive business growth and sustainability. Clifton Market has infrastructure and retail elements in place to contribute to the fresh market plan. Co-merchandising, adequate staffing, quality service, floor maintenance, team support. Upside goals are met with commitment and unified effort of the Clifton Market team. The board is responsible for approving and supporting a forward strategy for business growth goals. An area team is involved in the process of identifying feasible specialty attractions for their respective area. The board revisits cooperative culture with the store team to understand and support the refreshed business model and their contribution responsibility. So, target business sectors, direction from marketing. There are several favorable business sectors for economical marketing means and potential short-term sales lift. The existing customer base. Increase average transactions. Well, that's why it's very important to use. Oh, hey, Tim. Good. I constantly see all these things with a communication problem. Nobody answering info. And hey, I'm live on YouTube. You want to stop over and say hello? Talk about the market?
Briefly.
Yeah, briefly. Well, you know how broadcasts are.
Yeah.
30 seconds is everything.
30 seconds says it all.
Well, you can introduce
Come shop at Clifton Market.
Well, that's only like 5 seconds.
Let's get straight to it.
So then we'll just go straight to CCAC and Preserve Running Woods. Is your household split or divided or what?
I don't know what you're talking about.
The Burnett Woods CCAC possibility.
I'm unaware of it.
Okay, well,
So
this is good. This is good. Well, then that's one less thing you have to worry about.
Right.
You just know did you know the market was struggling?
yes.
Okay, well, you did know that.
Yeah.
And you know there's a vote tomorrow.
I don't.
Yeah. Are you a shareholder?
Yes.
Okay, well, they're voting tomorrow at the Carson Masonic Lodge up the street.
I'm gonna go shop.
Yeah.
I don't want to be interviewed about stuff I'm not up on.
Oh gosh, yes. Oh yeah. Well, anyway, the meeting's tomorrow.
Okay. Thank you.
That's fine. So we're talking about the target business sectors. the existing customer base, share owners, and primary trade area. In the primary trade area, remaining lift comes from non-owner residents in the primary trade area, and more lightly from the daytime sector. More so a phase 2 significant growth strategy. Clifton Market's first year struggles naturally lead to questioning the market's potential. To help understand this market substantial potential, the resident population of 1.5 mile store reach presents a 200,000 plus weekly retail food potential. There is a comparatively limited number of primary competitors, so that Clifton's upside, given the site's convenience advantage, would look to raise the current market share by 1 point from 6% to nearly 7%. Phase Fresh Market Cooperative Action Plan. The action plan improves Clifton Market's competitive ranking, which is bottomed out at the current assessed 55 image. Outlook is for reasonable improvements to the 70 image, or plus 20% over the current ranking below what is possible for this market. That increased competitiveness, along with a very conservative forecast to capture 2 points of sales lift from the daytime sector. A new marketing strategy are projected to raise the sales base short term to $152,111. So, I guess what I was mentioning earlier is that the lack of responding to emails sent to info@cliftonmarket.com, and the lack of paying attention to the suggestion box has severely hurt customer engagement. It says CTM currently captures under 6% share of the resident market and minor business from the daytime sector. Example, restaurant deli demand. I'm still reading from Wicks Association's report, Clifton Market Business Development Action Plan. Phase Fresh Market Cooperative Action Plan. Conservative forecast. This plan was put together and as part of the proposal put together by Marilyn, Hyland, and Peter Block. Assessment supports good opportunity for a true fresh market action plan. There is plenty of market potential as well as substantial room to improve Clifton Market's competitiveness. Keep in mind that the previous retailer at Clifton Market site, Keller's IGA, and weaker conditions ahead of closing in 2011 produced nearly $200K a week, albeit an established neighborhood service and brand. Clifton Market's 55 image competitive range is in a range with what, for example, a Save-A-Lot would achieve in the first year of operation. The planned fresh market should mature a business ranking in this market in the range of 70 to 90 image. I don't know exactly what that image means. Is that 55,000, 100,000, 70,000, 90,000? Clifton Market's projected phase 1 goal is a 70 image, which is challenging, short-term goal, but workable with what Clifton Market is capable of. Clifton Market is not reaching businesses through the full primary trade area. Today's sales level is predominantly from a tight area of trade, between a half mile and a mile. It is easy to counter that point with examples of active customers from the outer band and beyond, but Clifton Market's sales level and average transaction is with servicing a tighter market convenience demand. It is resolved with the action plan and the marketing taking Clifton Market to market, so to speak. Prepare to engage marketing. Marilyn is outlining the marketing actions for a marketing strategy as budget and resources allow. Revisits the cooperative's part in the refreshed store. Will there be an outreach drive, and who facilitates? How the store be prepared with an invitation area for becoming an owner? Who organizes a calendar of community events to be coordinated with retail promotions for consistent educational, social, and fun activities throughout the year? Well, as we might know, there's very few volunteers, if any. We've had a group of about 15 to 20 organize the voting, but as a long-term continual volunteering, we have not had this outreach for people facilitating these things. Even a simple thing like the calendar in the back is not being written up. Exterior attractions. There is an opportunity to strengthen the attraction to walkers and transient traffic. A sandwich board, windows. Well, I'm working on the new display, window treatment for the winter. It'll be up shortly. Certainly it'll be here before holidays on Ludlow. Agnes. Fine, I'm live on YouTube. Come over and say hello. No, it's fine. We'd love to see you at the store. Home delivery service. Presented as a blackboard-like statement in the weekly ad and a position. Well, I've been trying to get to that on my many to-do lists, to reach out to the people that can take advantage of it, but once again, there's a lack of volunteers, and just like whether it be Clifton Market or Clifton Town Meeting or Clifton Fest or holidays on Ludlow, the people that put these events together, you can count on your hand. Generally, you can't rely on volunteers. There's always somebody that steps forward, that does the bulwark. Fresh Market Cooperative Action Plan continued. I'm going on reading from this fascinating report of Keith Wicks Associates about the restart that Peter Block and Marilyn Hyland have proposed for the market. Revisit produce islands along with floral and gift formatting. Primary area for making change in the landscape and first impressions of the store. Produce reportedly is in good presentation, so change in aisle merchandisers and signage. Cafe, supportive floor maintenance and table cleanup. Planning cafe social fairs is likely targeted. Well, I've got a long list of things that we can do to program the cafe, but we don't have the volunteers to implement it. Convert juicery area, create something worthy of first impressions. Thoughts? House-made pizza. Take and bake plus other qualities of international grab and go. Bulk foods complementing produce, but relocation may be a pain to complete in a polished result. The beer and wine, inventory and budget may be tight, need for culinary impressions and deals. The deli needs review for manageable menu, quality specialties, and aggressive presentation, which likely means more bulk look and dummied displays. Must eat great. Benefits from some branding with marketing Clifton Market's exterior. Meat and seafood reportedly is in good shape. Dairy and frozen assumed to remain as is. Of course, we want to add a huge section of Indian frozen breakfast items because we spoke to a young Indian man, and he said most Indians get their breakfasts frozen. Bulk foods is reportedly being revisited for relocation, but that leaves a critical question of what would go in its place. The guest counter is a large area and part of first and final line of sight. It would be helpful for a task group to make a refresh of that area's profile and messages including house service, calendar of events, red box-like service would drive new interest. Center store, foremost a new system and strategy for in-aisle impressions and promotional rotation in line of the weekly ad. Lipari's natural and organic options retail inventory to supplement Clifton Market's N and O variety. May be beneficial for a task group to identify the store's local supplied product and develop a strategy for that merchandising with the new look signage per marketing. Well, the sad thing is that I still have not been able to get, I forgot your name. Kyla, yes. Okay, Kyla. Well, that was we've been reading from the Keith Wicks Associates report on the new plan, part of the Peter Block and Marilyn Hyland proposal. And their proposal here, November 25th, 2018. We ask all share owners to join us in voting for a third proposal that we believe has the best chance of keeping the market in our hands and growing the grocery as originally planned. The market began with a sound business plan. Well, that, unlike other proposals, we not sell the building, land, or business. Well, I think I was able to get Mr. Singh to sort of consider letting us hold the building if we could get sales to 160,000 a week in December. To succeed, the share owner's proposal, they need 200,000 K in operating funds, of which we have 86 K already, to install new management with the right experience to implement the business plan as it should be, including proper marketing. We also need you as a share owner of a co-op to pitch in somewhere, however you can, with a loan or donation, sharing of skills, bringing back lost customers. Details of the well-developed but impractical to convey through this channel. We publish links to reference documents and attempt to answer questions via email prior to Tuesday. Respectively submitted on November 25th by share owners Ward Ballman, Peter Block, Patrick Borders, Marilyn Hyland, Robert Kokorian, Malcolm Montgomery, and Lawson Wilson. Share owners motion: raise operating funds of 200K, hire John Verling as general manager, implement the business plan listed below, recruit volunteers with useful skills, 3-month term to be continued contingent on the market's performance. Board shall not sell the land and building or business. Let's see, implement the business plans listed below. And there's an asterisk, and the asterisk is 3-month term to be continued contingent on DeMarcus performance meeting the specified outcomes by February 28th, 2019. Well, it's just endless, the data that we have out there. And I think we're going to get to John Verling's statement of I thought I had printed it out. John Verling's plan. But I missed it. The John Verling timeline. It's gonna be tough to see if I can pull that out of grab it out of the hat here, but I'm sorry, I just didn't get that printed out. Let's just see. I got the owner's proposed motion. Here, John Verling's timeline for immediate action. With funding secured, order large base of standard inventory concentrating on the top 20% of items to further the image of open for business. Build end caps and in-aisle stacks to promote high demand. Make sure perishable departments are fully stocked. Email announcements to share owners. After holiday, review pricing in all departments and make strategic changes to high-profile items. Second place order, being more specific on shelf allocation. Create social event to celebrate open for business. This is for November, December 2018, while concentrating on building inventory specific to Christmas in all departments, we need to focus on sampling, working with vendor reps, giving customers new fresh ideas supported by product display. The natural food organic supplier should put together back-to-back orders, much like the order scheme for conventional groceries, dairy, and frozen. They should have a tight oversight by store personnel. Review each department's needs, run a full store's price audit, work with store staff reviewing past and planning for the in January. Orders should be regular and shelves predictably filled. Connect with shoppers to get feedback on things that the store needs to do in order to keep them as regular customers, as well as finding out what drove them away in the first place, aside from low inventory levels. This information is critical for short and long-term planning. It's difficult to know how many other problems need to be addressed, as these are largely out of view of the typical shopper. So that's the timeline from John Verling. So we have a lot of various situations, various similar models out there. And my friend Samuel Bedry sent me an email. He said, "Hi there. I appreciate everything you've done with Clifton Market. At one point I remember you saying to send any idea for the market to Keith, so I did today. However, I know a lot has changed in the past couple of weeks and over the weekend with this third option. So I also send this to Adam, who announced a meeting tonight just in case." The first idea occurred to me at the time when the renovations had just been done, but well before the store had opened. At that point, it was just a big open, well-lit space, and all I could think of was what a great space for indoor farmers market. But what this idea basically is, I hope it could play a supplemental and complementary role in this overall attempt to save / to diversify Clifton Market's business model. The idea is to invite local farmers to sell their produce at the market. Well, I think it's certainly possible. We talked about this, but as you might imagine, there's no staff to implement it. Someone who wanted to take up the job of connecting with the farmers and organizing the situation just to get it going so the management could take it over, just sort of do the heavy lifting in the beginning. We could sell farmers' produce. Of course, there's always a conflict of interest with the people who have donated us a lot of money by our suppliers, regular distributors. So it's a careful balance. Community Supported Agriculture is the CSA. In a CSA program, the farmer grows food for a group of local residents called shareholders. These shares would be distributed as produce baskets, also known as vegetable boxes. So this function would, within Clifton Market, as a community-supported agricultural drop-off and distribution center. And because Clifton Market has the space and the refrigeration capacity, Clifton Market could charge a fee that pays for utilities and building upkeep for those farmer vendors. So we certainly look forward to establishing something like this, but recently we've had to take out 80 acres farms because we didn't have the money to pay them. So I know it sounds trite to say that sales is the solution. It's warm in here, isn't it? Yeah. And Samuel says in a PS, I remember as a kid while walking through Keller's, I would notice there in the middle of the store this structure that kind of reminded me of a doghouse. And in the opening there was just a slide into the basement where you could catch a glimpse of milk gallons and crates. It just created the impression that it was a labyrinth of a building. So I don't actually know how much space there is, but it occurred to me that another advantage of being a co-op would be to implement mixed-use space. Again, I don't know if the space permits, but if there is such more space than needed, maybe a section of the building could be utilized for the CCAC. I apologize for mentioning that this is somewhat you've already entertained and dismissed, but I think everyone could benefit. Well, Samuel, the fact is, it's been thought of, but once again, there's a lot of ideas. There's very few people that want to implement them. My final thought I wanted to share is that with small farms today and what that struggle to make enough on their crops, there are some examples of farmers that figured it out how to add value by starting a little local farm fresh cafe at the edge of their farm, or if it's a dairy, then an ice cream stand made with the milk from their farm. In these cases, it's what's allowed them to supplement their income, diversify their sales, and continued farming. There's money in food, but it hardly goes to the farmer and the independent grocery store. So I think starting a CSA, a community trying to find out what it means by that. A community supported agriculture. Having some tables set up in the store with farmers selling produce, bulk buyers club, and having the bakery deli prepared dishes at Clifton Market would be a way to offset costs and increase foot traffic from the community. But on a side note, if it also takes sharing the space with local cultural arts center, then would that be possible? Well, people have mentioned that, Samuel, and but the big answer is shoppers changing their buying habits. I think they'll be happy with the store once they get used to coming here 24/7. All the solutions will be answered. It's not happening yet. Hey, Tim. So we're looking forward to it seems almost impossible to think that we could get our sales up to a point where we wouldn't have to worry about these issues, but it is possible. That's always been my easy solution. So we got about 15 minutes left. Let's just go with some lighter thoughts. We'll look at the music listings. The CityBeat. G. Herbo performed in Covington's Madison Theater. Let's see, it's Monday the 26th. At the Greenwich, the Flying Circus Big Band, 7:30. Big Band Jazz, $5. The Mad Frog, Open Jam, 8 p.m., various, free. Motor Pub, downtown. Black Mountain Throwdown, 9 p.m., Rock Roots, various. Northside Tavern, the Octet, 9:30 p.m., Rock, Funk, Jazz, Fusion, various, free. And my old friend Tom Fessler's Pachinko has open mic night, 9 p.m., various, and it's free. So that's the music lineup. And I guess we're not going to have the next big meeting besides this meeting tomorrow, and then Wednesday voting will be here at the market. There's going to be a Clifton. The next meeting will be Clifton Town meeting on December 3rd. And at 6:30, I believe, voting starts. Let's see if we can get right to the timeline. Oh, I believe it's 6:30 at. Hey, Matt. All right, take care. I think you can arrive as early as 6 o'clock to vote. The meeting starts at 7 o'clock, and they'll be voting for the bylaws, which is basically just a yes vote. And then there's 5 trustees running for 5 places, so that will be a shoe-in too. So you just vote yes for the slate. We're very honored to have enough nominees to fill the 5 slots. In the past, it wasn't like that. And then the week after that, we have the Moms Group on Tuesday at the holiday party at the Patrick Woodside home. And that's all that's going on. I think we had a PUPP party on the 4th Monday of every month. That might have been tonight at 5 o'clock. Let's go to the calendar and see. It's the 4th Monday. 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah, the 26th. There was a PUPP. But hey. All right, Tom. Hey, all right. I'm live on YouTube. Come over here and say something. Come on.
What do I have to say?
Sit down. Tell us what the weather's like outside.
It's frightful, my friend says. Are people watching, do you think? We're getting a few items from the Clifton Market. Please come shop here. regular like and often.
Are you going to vote tomorrow?
That was last week.
No, it's tomorrow, the vote.
For what?
The Clifton Market proposal plans. They have 3 plans.
Oh, the meetings, is it tomorrow night?
Yeah.
What time? And where? You know that.
At the Carson Masonic Lodge up the
Oh,
street.
just up the street.
Yeah.
Like at 7 or something. Sophie knows.
Yeah.
If you're a shareholder, you need to be at the meeting.
Oh, yeah. Oh, wait. Thank you, Anthony.
Have a good day.
You guys must have been having happy hour. Oh, good. Good. I should have all these things right at the tip of my tongue, but we do know that the PUPP was tonight, and it's probably canceled because of bad weather. Let's just go see what the Facebook says. Clifton. Clifton PUPP. Clifton PUPP. Pop-up puppy party. Clifton Pop-up planning group. There's Doris Marks Rodier says, "Hi, does anyone know where the sandwich board is now? We'd like to pick it up, thanks." And that was November 7th. Oh, gee. Oh, here it is. Clifton Pop-up puppy party. That was the planning committee. Here's the real Facebook page. Recommended by, do you recommend the Clifton Pop-up puppy party? Yes? You vote on these things and you always have to make a comment. So I just say we love dogs we don't care for. I don't know what we're doing here. It's being posted on. This is a wonderful event to enjoy. August 28th. Oh my gosh, come on. Here, November 17th. Dog lovers, cold weather allows us time to snuggle in and watch a beautiful series about dogs. The very first episode features 4 Paws for Ability in Xenia, Ohio. I don't know what that's about. Okay. Miss Clifton Pop-up Puppy Party, bring your dog to Westside Brewing. I guess the Clifton Pop-up Puppy Parties are over with. I don't know. Well, anyway, if you want to find a place to go with your dogs, you can always go to Westside Brewing on November 7th. Anyway, I'm sorry we didn't see anything about a show going on tonight, but it's more than likely canceled. So, no, I can't see. Let's go to the next door and see if there's any late scuttlebutt on the top post is from Adam Hyland, Clifton. Save the Clifton Market meeting Monday, November 26th at 6:30. So it's basically in about 40 minutes. There's 23 comments. Let's go to the bottom. A very long comment from Mark Irie. And then there was another comment by Tim Quinlivan. Adam has the third comment from the bottom. The meeting will be run by the group who put the proposal together. And I am not in any way the spokesman. I only arranged the logistics of this meeting tonight. I was just helping to give the only plan on the table with a chance. Tim Quinlivan. Adam, sorry if my reaction to your reappearance on behalf of the market on the eve of its fate mischaracterized you as a spokesperson, though I suppose one could reasonably make that deduction given your in parentheses unauthorized use of its logo to imply official connection. My ire is raised not by your proposal, but by your immediate confrontational and condescending tone when asked by a wholly appropriate question. A tone many will recall from the series of chaotic and seemingly unproductive spats that span the entirety of the market's early and critical incarnation. All right, Tom, see you. See you, Mammy. See ya. There's the doctor. Come over here, Mr. Spiro.
How are you?
I'm live on YouTube. You can come in and say hello.
No, I'm not going to be on YouTube.
Come on, your kids would love it. They say, Dad, he's really trending. So, a tone that many will recall from a series of chaotic and unproductive spats that span the entirety of the critical incarnation. I'm guessing I'm not alone in being unable to see how that approach would possibly promise a new beginning for Clifton Market. Mark Irie says, Helga? Let's see what Helga had to say. Helga Simone. As someone relatively new to the neighborhood, this dynamic is what has been confusing from the beginning. Who are the good guys who have the best interest of the market in mind? I have no idea. It reminds me of our country and the two main political parties. Instead of making decisions that would be best for our country, they continue to fight against each other to the detriment of everyone else. So we'll read what Mark Irie says. Helga, you and I have met once when I toured your third floor to get ideas for our house, and my wife shares the same last name as you, just pronounced differently, if you can remember. Now, besides that, you do not know me, and I cannot tell if I am a good guy or someone else. So I also assume you might not know most of the people posting on this thread, which then I can understand your concern. But feel free to search on this website about the people on this thread to see their postings, and you should get a pretty good idea of those people. I'm assuming that you can search and that people haven't deleted their posts. I know I haven't deleted mine. It seems like these days the only person we can trust is ourselves, and even then we have to make the effort to understand what is going on to come to that conclusion. I have done that, and I feel very confident that on what has transpired with the market, and I am happy to share with you if you are interested. If you are ever interested. I can tell you this, that the majority of the current board is doing everything in their power to give shareholders the best viable options at this time based on what they were handed over the summer. They even included Adam's very proposal to all the shareholders. So I ask you, or anyone that is a shareholder, if the board is set on destroying the market with fire and water, then why would you give Adam's proposal recognition if they know it is the only thing that will save the market, per Adam's post? All of the shareholders got this information today, and it was all laid out cleanly and unbiased. If you are a shareholder, then you can vote tomorrow and make your voice heard on the decision you want. If you are not, you can still attend Adam's meeting tonight. Listen to what he has to say, and you should probably bring your checkbook. I don't know if that was appropriate, Mark, but if you are a shareholder, then you are already aware of my thoughts on the proposals of the Clifton Market Google group, which is for all shareholders, should really be the place for this discussion anyway. And I thoroughly agree. It was set up by the market, by Barb Hubble, I believe, and it was an effective forum, but it certainly keeps a lot of the heavily concerned individuals, the shareholders, focused in a group that can really work, and then sites like Clifton NextDoor and Facebook should be the platform for promotion. So that said, we're going to close out another great session of Live at Clifton Market. This is Tom Lohre signing off, and we won't have a broadcast tomorrow, but I do hope to have one here Wednesday when The voting will be, the additional voting will be taking place, and we'll be able to get some interviews from people that come in to vote. Should be very lively. I think this is probably the most important broadcast I've had, and this is why I started. So from Clifton Market, I say goodbye.